I just feel I have to say that I think that the status quo currently isn't working. People who are standing in this debate probably feel a little bit anxious about doing that. And that isn't a status quo that I would particularly recognise on either side, if we have to have sides. Sex and gender are different. I've never met a trans person who denied this or over the years of having very robust debates with them. And in my life, the discrimination I have suffered at the hands of establishments, rather than just, your everyday sexism, has always been exclusively because of my biology. The obvious examples I could give are about pregnancy, where I was told not to bother to turn up for interviews because of pregnancy scan appointments, or the fact that I was told I was too young to decide if I wanted to be sterilised at the age of 28, when my husband, just 3 years older than me, was allowed to make that decision without anybody batting an eyelid. I had to get 2 doctors to sign a thing to say that I could have an abortion. My biology really matters to me, and I have been treated poorly because of it. I, however, after making that point, want to really stress that my remarks are going to be about the issue of single-sex spaces and the safety of women. And I think I'm probably alone in this room of being somebody who has actually run single-sex spaces and used this part of the Equality Act we are here to debate. So, we all know violence against women and girls, men's violence against women and girls, it happens to women. It is, of course, it happens to men, and frankly, if you need a service because you are a victim of domestic or sexual violence, I do not care which category you fall into, you are entitled 100% to expect access to those services. But the Equality Act has to allow that we need different kinds of services for different people's needs, understandably. The Equality Act is a carefully balanced piece of legislation which recognises that women and men, and let's be honest, it's less men, need protection from sex discrimination. And as part of that, women need to be able to have separate services and associations, charities and sports. So the majority of victims of domestic violence are women, and they're much more likely to be seriously hurt or killed. We must be really careful to protect our intricate and finely balanced services for women. I am seeing again and again already, this is happening, where specialist women's services are being decommissioned in favour of generic support services that have an all-or-nothing approach. This has got almost nothing to do with trans people initially. It's entirely to do with the fact that they were expected to support men's services as well. And so they're decommissioning services, and you have situations where perpetrator and victim are in the same service, and that is happening all across the country. It is utterly devastating.